financial markets are pricing in a near certain chance of the Reserve Bank cutting rates today. And Stephanie Ferrier has more for us.
I'm here at Melbourne's Southern Cross station, just gauging the mood of commuters about the potential of an interest rate cut ahead of the Reserve Bank's decision today. And many borrowers are hoping for a drop. In fact, the money markets are definitely on their side, with a 99% probability that we will see a fall of 0.25%. That will bring the cash rate down to 3.85%. And that means that if you've got a mortgage of $600,000, you'll see your repayments fall by about $100 per month. This is what some commuters had to say about the potential for a little bit of cost of living relief.
It's better for us to buy a house and things like that. I think it's the best decision to interest to be going down.
It's hard for a lot of people, and I think if they can reduce the rates, it'll be better for them.
There's a lot of people that need it, yeah. So, like I said, every little bit helps.
Yes, every little bit does help, and the last time that we saw the official cash rate fall below 4% was back in May 2023. That's when inflation was hovering above 7%. It's now down to 2.4%, which is well within the RBA's target band. But they would have also been really carefully watching the labour market as well, with really tight jobs figures coming in last week. And the big question, of course, as well, is if they do cut this afternoon, how quickly the major banks will pass on that interest rate relief.
Thanks very much, Steph. Well, the New South Wales SES has received more than 2,000 calls for assistance and carried out 24 flood rescues, with more heavy rain on the way for parts of the state. More than 40 schools are closed, roads are cut off, and dozens of residents have been evacuated in the Hunter Valley and the Central Coast.
The Bureau of Meteorology is also forecasting hazardous surf and damaging winds, with fears for properties along the coast, and the weather is expected to hang around for days. Sarah Forster joins us now from Wamberal on the Central Coast. Goodness, it looks windy there, Sarah. We've seen some wild weather, but also that damaging surf. What are things like where you are now?
You're absolutely right, James. The powerful surf and the damaging surf is the main concern on Wamberal Beach here on the Central Coast. Also a little bit further north at North Entrance, also on the Central Coast, where there are more than 50 beachfront homes that have been experiencing problems related to coastal erosion for quite some time. But because the powerful swell is so big, the waves are hitting really hard and expected to continue to do so between now and Friday morning. Residents are waiting really nervously. I've spoken to one homeowner here on the beach this morning, and he indicated that he's scared. He doesn't know what's going to happen to his home, but he's also a bit frustrated too, because there has been quite a lot of talk about what action could be taken to save homes on Wamberal Beach, but not much action. I think one home was looked at over the weekend and some rock bags were put down, but that's about all. So it's a nervous watch and wait on the Central Coast. As far as the rain goes, that has moved further north, and the area between Newcastle up to Kempsey is the area of concern today, James, where the heavy rain is just continuing. To give you an idea, Taree received 270 mils from 9 o'clock yesterday morning, so huge amounts of rainfall. Lots of schools are closed today because of the dangerous conditions, and some evacuation orders were issued through the night for parts of Bulahdelah, Patterson and Dungog, with the SES and police door knocking through the night. So we are watching and waiting to see what this weather system will bring over the next few hours and indeed the next few days. Here's the SES Chief Superintendent Dallas Burnes with a bit of an update for us.
That mid-north coast area has already received significant rainfall over the last couple of days, and the forecast is for that to continue over the next couple of days and next 72 hours. So that area, Port Macquarie, basically Coffs Harbour through to Central Coast, we're going to see continued rainfall in those areas, with localised falls of up to 100 millimetres in 24 hours and possibly higher.
And so residents in those affected areas all told to heed the advice of emergency authorities, and of course that message, as always, when there is a flooded road, not to drive into it. There have been many calls and rescues so far, and the SES is hoping not to have to respond to any more situations where people have got themselves into an emergency.
Yeah, that is very good advice. All right, Sarah, thank you for that. Let's head over to Emma for the rest of the day's news.
Thank you. US President Donald Trump says Russia and Ukraine will immediately start ceasefire negotiations after his 2-hour-long phone call with his Russian counterpart. Vladimir Putin says the call was informative and useful, but added his country's position is clear and what he calls the root causes of war must be addressed.
So hopefully we did something. We also spoke to the heads of most of the European nations, and we're trying to get that whole thing wrapped up.
The Nationals are considering walking away from the coalition if the Liberals won't commit to key policies. The forced divestiture of supermarkets, nuclear power and a regional future fund have emerged as key sticking points between the parties as they negotiate the coalition agreement.
We've had 2 catastrophic losses at a federal level. At a number of state levels, state divisions, those particular parties are dysfunctional. So we need to make sure that the beliefs and values of the Liberal Party are fit for purpose for the 21st century.
A Perth obstetrician charged with manslaughter over a fatal crash in February has been hit with further charges. Police allege Reece Bellinge was speeding and had a blood alcohol level of 0.183 when he hit a rideshare car, killing 24-year-old Elizabeth Pearce in the Perth suburb of Dalkeith. The 4 fresh charges relate to driving offences from the Sunday night before the crash. The UK and European Union have announced a series of new deals aimed at resetting their relationship post-Brexit. The agreement covers defence, food and fishing, and the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says it signals a new era in relations. British travellers will also be allowed to use faster e-gates at EU airports. Heavyweights from the International Olympic Committee, including outgoing boss Thomas Bach, will meet in Brisbane today for an update on the 2032 Games. It'll be the first meeting in Australia between Brisbane planning officials and the Coordination Commission. IOC delegates are also expected to be given site visits while in Queensland. CCTV footage has been released following the theft of a life-sized fibreglass cow in Melbourne's west. Betsy, who's worth about $3,500, was taken from a business in Truganina in the early hours of April the 27th. The 3 masked offenders hoofing it from the scene in a silver VE Commodore.